Cooking me up, baby. Cooking me up now. Cooking me up, baby. Cooking me up. Cook me all up. Cooking me all up. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Weekly Wave. This is episode 66, and it's a beautiful Tuesday. I had a lovely weekend. I can only wish you did the same. But if I saw you, and if you've been coming out to the shows this last week, just know that it means the world to me. It's been such a good couple of weeks with the Crash and wrapping up the Impatient tour, and just really feeling the fruits of the labor on my end and the whole team's end. I mean, between me, Jordan, Riley, and the whole gang, we're all busting a lot of ass to try to make sure that things are exactly how they should be, that we're continuing to apply the things that we're learning, and just making better experiences, better content, better reasons to come out and hear and enjoy the music. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all the support. It's been an amazing couple weeks. So I got a great guest on this week. I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a new open mic at a club called the Hi-Fi up in Mount Adams. Now, I haven't gone there, but I just saw this open mic and I was like, I'll do some digging and see who is the host of this show. So I found the host for this week. Her name was Deej. I reached out. We started chatting a little bit, and then I started listening to her songs. Her songs are so good. She has a crazy authenticity that comes through her music. You can tell how much she really loves just being an artist. And so I'm going to let her speak for herself on that. But she has a wonderful sound healing, sound therapy practice that she runs, an incredible artist from right here in Cincinnati. So without further ado, y'all, this is Deej. Buddha clack clack. Good to go? Holy shit, everybody. Welcome to The Wave. What's going on? Deej, thanks for coming over, fam.
Yeah, hi.
I was exploring Instagram the other day, and I saw this thing about you hosting an open mic. I was like, I have no idea who this person is, so I'm just going to check out the gram. And then I found, do you remember the song of yours that I shared? I can't remember the title.
It was Woodcrush Drive.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
That's a great tune.
Thank
Both
you.
of them phenomenal. But like
Thank
that one,
you.
like, what's that, like 70,000 streams?
Yeah, it had a little moment over on TikTok that didn't end in anything, big, but it was a good time, and there's quite a few streams on that song. It made me very excited.
And you gotta feel affirmed in that, like, if there's only 2 songs up and one of them did that well, you can see how quickly these sparks make such a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and as an artist, I'm sure you've written, a lot of songs, a lot of unfinished songs, a lot of songs where you're like, it doesn't count for me.
Yeah.
For one of those to reach a place in people's lives, like, that's such a special thing.
Yeah, that's the whole point. It's the whole point for me.
So when you were on TikTok before this, or was it just found on there and used for audio?
It was actually a friend had made a video to promote me releasing the song, and it blew up.
That's sick.
And nothing ever came of it. No one ever followed me. No one ever followed my friend. But the video did so well, and people loved the song, and definitely they went and downloaded it, because I can see the numbers there. I was like, wow, people really dig this. Like, it's so out of nowhere. It was like a week maybe after I released the song. My friend made the video, or maybe a few days. But I was like, damn.
Yeah. It's to be surprising might seem weird to people that don't do this, but like sometimes you don't know. They're like your kids, and out of nowhere they're popping, and everybody's about it. And you're like, I couldn't differentiate that from my 5 other favorites or what else I'm working on that time. But for it to click like that has got to be rewarding and super confusing too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it means the world, and it's like I'm so overwhelmed with gratitude, and like, wow, this is like what I meant to do. This is crazy. But then I'm like, oh wow, I cannot picture like that many people even in a room. Like, that's a very large number, and it's always like the numbers, and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, all y'all.
Sure.
It's about the song, so thanks.
It's hard to say what it means. It's like, to quantitate it as people is probably the healthiest thing to do, because there's something special as well where our job's a very one-to-one gig. Sometimes it really is, you're playing an open mic or you're playing a show and you get a bartender and maybe 2 people sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially when you want to go at it with your own intention, your own tunes, it's a difficult experience for sure.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
So how long have you been like gigging out and playing your own stuff and in that world?
I've been playing live music for 7 years now, I think. Maybe coming up on 8. I did a lot of theater in my earlier years, and it led me to realizing I was wanting to, memorize my own words that I had written.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you were done with scripts, so you were like, I'm
yeah,
going to write my own.
so I started writing music, but the earliest thing I did was got this gig at an ice cream shop every summer. I was playing there like every week or every 2 weeks, every summer, and it was so fun. I was playing a bunch of covers, and I was playing like my ukulele back then sometimes. Like it was a really fun summer thing, and
like a 3-hour show?
Yeah,
cool.
Usually.
That's a hard gig to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. I was doing it for so many years, and then I started playing at some bars and restaurants, and once the pandemic hit, I thought I was never gonna play a live show again, but it turned out, since most places couldn't have bands because it was people being close to each other, there were a lot of restaurants that were looking for solo artists, and so I got really lucky.
That's
with
awesome.
Some good gigs in town. At some really great places.
Any spots you want to shout out in particular?
Absolutely, definitely the Orbit Room and Arnold's Bar and Grill, amazing
awesome.
Places. Hi-Fi, where I played the open mic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are great places.
Do you know Jess Lamb by chance?
I feel like I've heard that name, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely in the world here.
Wonderful songwriter. And she's one of the few other people that I've seen play Arnold's, as well as like a high school English teacher of mine that now works for the city government in some extent. His name's Mike Moralski. I've seen him play there as well.
Oh, yeah.
But it seems like such a listening room. It kind of makes his transformation from restaurant into a show very quickly.
It's really a cool spot.
Yeah.
I love that outdoor area. It's a good vibe there.
And what about the Orbit Room? Where's that at?
The Orbit Room, it's on Vine Street. It's a little bar on the corner at that big intersection by Finley.
Cool.
And I've been playing there every Sunday for about a year and a half now.
That's awesome.
It's a great place. It's a cute little bar. And
3 hours as well, or?
I usually play a 2-hour set there.
Cool.
But they have music all through the weekends. So there's all sorts of live music there. Fun stuff, usually more jazz. I think I'm a bit of an outlier there in my folky nature.
Yeah.
But
is that what you cover as well, or like?
I do tons of covers of. I just like to play all a bunch of songs I like, all my favorite songs.
So absolute freedom in that. You never wanna.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've had the same set list interchanging for like all these 7 years I've been playing. These are all just a bunch of songs I like to sing and think
that's super
sound
cool.
good singing, so they're fun to play. And then it's fun to start playing some originals as well, adding that into the mix and starting to prioritize my own sound and my own tunes. So I'm excited that I have some songs out.
Well, in a 2-hour set, how many of these are you gonna slip in there originals?
I usually play both the songs I have released. I have a few other little random tunes that I don't even really mention, but I play a few of those. But I play a lot of songs in that 2-hour set there.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun with it, so I just get to playing, and there's a lot of like sing-along types because I play a bunch of oldies, a bunch of classics, so I just like when people join in and have a good time. So that's why I just keep grooving.
For sure. I'm from the get. It's really clear to me, and I'm sure most of your audiences, that like you really do enjoy this. This is really like when people count their blessing when they step on a stage, you feel that as a listener, and it just raises like the bar that we can start to play at from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think There's something about that presence that I just find important in everyday life, and you are surrounded with nothing but that presence when you're performing something live.
For sure.
So it's sort of like a warm little bubble where you get to do your little thing, do your best.
Especially, it's a bubble. It's a temporary space where like certain things outside of this don't really need to exist to me for a little while.
Yeah, it's got that fourth wall. Like,
exactly.
There you go. It's a fun time, and I think, I mean, also breaking that fourth wall. I love playing like these local bars and restaurants because it's intimate, and you do get to engage and interact with these people, and people are singing along, and it's just groovy.
Yeah,
it's just groovy. I love Cincinnati's music scene. I always have.
Well, I think that's really inspiring to hear from other artists. Like, if there's anything that the last couple of years has allowed, it's for people to make the most of whatever they got in their own part of the world. You don't need to go nowhere to make something special.
Absolutely.
And this scene deserves to blow the lid off and show what we have to offer. Like, you ever heard of See and the Funnies? That's probably my favorite Cincinnati band. I think they've been in the scene actually playing for probably like 8 years or so.
Oh, okay.
And they're all like East Side kids.
Oh, that's cool.
So
cool.
more like Mount Ora, Batavia.
Yeah.
But we have these like very different feeling parts of the world between Northern Kentucky and Batavia, and where I'm up here in Blue Ash. And it's just like,
and everything in between.
Yeah.
There's people from everywhere in Cincinnati that make music.
For
I
sure.
feel like everyone in Cincinnati makes music.
Yeah, and like, we're starting to intermingle more and more just with the ability, like finding someone on Instagram,
It's so nice. It's so nice. I found most, if not all, my gigs through Instagram.
That's crazy.
Everyone I've worked with, and yeah, everything. It's funny that there's so many musicians, producers, singers, songwriters, just so many people. And once you follow one of them, everyone else follows you, and you all follow each other. It's awesome how it all connects.
And do you feel like that's because you're spending enough time on the platform to feel invested in it? Is like, do you get on Instagram a lot in your spare time just to enjoy?
Not even really. I do use it as a tool.
Yeah.
I also do run 2 accounts on Instagram, 2 promoting something accounts. You know, my Deej account is promoting my music, and so I do have to be active on there, keep people updated on what I'm doing, where I'm playing, things like that. But then my other account is for my sound healing business, and so I also have to keep up on there and engage on there and find community on there.
For sure.
Because that's an in-person thing.
Yeah.
And you can do it virtual, but that's a lot. And so it's a lot to run 2 accounts, but it is cool how many wonderful people you can find and how many amazing just things you can learn by falling down these little rabbit holes,
Absolutely. And where do you find a practice like that? Like, when do you first start, when did you get into sound healing?
It was way more recent than I could have ever expected. I feel like there was a little part of me that sort of knew for a while that it was a thing for me, maybe. But music has always been my life. And so as I've had my sort of spiritual practice of meditation, I've had that for a long, long time in my life. It led me to finding about sound healing and sound therapy and vibrational healing, and I was like, oh, this is how I put the 2 parts of me together into one thing. And I have never learned so much in 3 years.
That's so cool. So did you find this online initially? Did you find a book?
I found it through books and through research. I was doing some digging into the modern and the ancient world, when it comes to different practices that I have partaken in and different things I was interested in regarding music and regarding frequency and things like that. And it just fell into my lap, truly.
Yeah.
It really did. And it's funny, I told my drama teacher in senior year of high school that I wasn't going to be attending college. And she was like, come on, like, you gotta give it the old college try, like, do something. And she even said, you should try going to school for sound therapy. And I was like, nah. And now here I am. I got certified online over the course of the pandemic.
That's crazy.
It's funny, and I feel like I should tell her that happened.
Yeah. You know, that's something that I really do think is so special, is when folks took this really trying time for all of us, but space to develop the self, came about. And if you really embrace that, the days right now really do have a lot of optimism in it, amidst a very scary world and whatnot.
Absolutely. That's sort of what keeps people afloat, is having some form of faith, some sort of connection with self, with heart, with love, energy. To have that is everything. It's crucial to humans. We're social creatures. We need each other. We need that give and receive of energy.
For sure.
And I think sound healing is a really cool way to tap in to the fact that you're made of vibrations. You're made of sound waves. And you're going to entrain to whatever frequencies the strongest around you.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's a really cool way to help people see, like, oh shit, like I can truly uplift myself with love.
Yeah.
Like I can truly raise my literal frequency. And I just think that's magic. That's magic here on Earth.
That's so powerful. And I the more that I've started to see the scientific side of sound and the interaction of frequency and whatnot, the more it starts to have this very spiritual kind of aspect to it.
Absolutely.
And, one thing that we get to enjoy as artists is this moment where, as the note leaves you and you just get to be this medium, you literally will hit certain notes that tap into the back of your brainstem. I mean, it's such a deep
It's channeled.
Experience.
It's truly channeled from above.
And sometimes it hits the same way for someone else. Like, you ever experience, like, so feedback in a room is this resonant frequency. We've hit something and it has this perpetualness that's starting to pick up.
Yeah.
And that's literally, where you're probably going with this sound healing. Is that like a Tibetan bowl practice, or what do you use?
So I use quartz crystal singing bowls.
Cool.
So they're just big bowls, and you play them with a mallet, like around, just like the Tibetan hand hammered those brass bowls. Those are also incredible. But the quartz crystal ones, I find they ring out longer, in my opinion, and I liked that because I wanted to use them for myself, of course, as well as healing others. I sort of had that calling and knew that this was something I needed to show the world, but I knew I had to use it on myself first. And so having the ability to be able to close my eyes and play them and have them ring out for a minute and be able to sit still with that resonance myself, perform this thing I learned on myself because I was taking an online course. It was awesome. It was so amazing.
Well, it's more difficult than people expect it to be. I've really experienced that with the brass bowls, but I imagine
those ones are especially tricky.
Yeah.
Because some of them use suede mallets, some of them use acrylic, and some, for the Tibetan bowls, use a wood mallet. And I have always had a hard time getting resonance on that. But the quartz ones, the ones I have, are frosted, so they're not like smooth like a crystal.
Yeah.
They're like
textured almost,
because they're heat treated with it's like 99% quartz, but then there's glass infused to sort of heat treat it and shape it into the note and shape.
Yeah. To tune it.
Tune it, exactly. So the frosted ones sort of have like a scratchy outside and a smooth inside. So when you play with a suede mallet, you hear it like scratching, like a little bit as the note comes in. So that's why I prefer to use like a silicone or acrylic mallet, because it's just smoother on that scratchy surface. Yeah. But all these little sound healing instruments are really fun. I've been really into chimes lately. Yeah. I love chimes. And I love songs that use chimes in them. I think it's just a little magic. Come on, it's little fairy sounds. Like, it's awesome.
That's a great way to put it. It's magic when these things are accessible, and I had a conversation. I got really deep in conversation with this guy at the car dealership, and I knew he was trying to play me, but I was about to cry on my end of it. I was feeling this conversation. And I was like, man, there's something weird about the nostalgia that music brings along, where it's like, it can hold a moment in time for me in a very profound way. Yeah. And I feel that way about those little like music boxes that like a grandparent has.
Ooh, those get you when you play them after 10 years and you're like, oh, I'm bawling my eyes out. Yeah, music boxes, absolutely. Humans have like a special relationship with music and like noises and sound.
Absolutely.
Very special. It's emotional. It's you can't help it. Mm-hmm. It's channeled, like we were saying.
It's so true, and it's crazy to think that outside of our range of hearing, like what we're limited to as this species, there's so much being spoken in the world at all points in time, and how much noise we make considering like what needs to be said, like maybe that's these feelings that we get when you're surrounded by too much technology. They say when you walk out in the woods, you get far enough away, you feel a little bit of freedom from this high frequency send that goes on. It's like, is it something to be afraid of? No, but it's something to be aware of and respect. That
hearing those natural tones, we need that that connection.
For sure, it grounds you in a different way to be in the absence of these things, and sometimes it's white noise that you just get so accustomed to that it's fine, but you walk out and you're like, that's refreshing.
Yeah, that's the thing, is the body really does, like, whatever frequency it's sensing around it, it's going to try to emulate that and embody it itself. And so if there are lots of stressed noise around you, you're gonna be stressed. That's like how it works. Everyone knows that.
Absolutely.
And so when you walk into a quiet setting, you're like, oh. But then again, some quiet settings can have some underlying discomfort in the frequency, so that you never know. Your body's constantly picking up on all this stuff, and you just sort of have to be there like, oh, now I'm sweating. What does this mean? And so I think it's nice to play those bowls and be like, oh, these are all nice sounds that are warm and fuzzy.
They're, like you said, they're a little bubble that you can step into, and for a lot of people that are dealing with the chaos of their lives, which we all kind of have and are called to tame in our own ways, for you to come in and offer this practice is very intrinsic. It gets people to a different place for a few minutes.
Yeah. Everyone deserves it.
Yeah,
deserves that rest, that like cellular restoration. Everyone deserves that deep, like laying there and you're buzzing when you wake up.
Yes.
Everyone deserves that. Anytime, any day, any place.
Yeah.
I think.
That kind of, this is a weird segue, but you ever play with in-ear monitors? The difference between having a big ass speaker there to rock your world as you sing these notes versus a headphone ripping straight through your dome.
That's different.
And I'm like, there's a lot of cymbals in here, but I like it. Like there's something special about a loud stage that makes me wish it were the 70s and they were still doing big arena rock and shit.
Yeah, you can feel it in your bones.
Yeah, but maybe that's why AC/DC's going deaf. Like, there's...
Yeah, you do have to be careful. Some frequencies, in order to get the vibrational effect physically, the only way is louder. And louder does damage human ears, so...
Absolutely.
You have to find that balance.
There's sensitive little hairs in there.
Yes!
So, I would love to know, when did you find the calling to be a songwriter? Not just like writing for the first time. When did it hit you like, oh, I'm supposed to do that?
So my parents did something that I think all parents should do. When me and my sibling both turned like 4 or 5, they were like, pick an instrument, try it out. You have to do this. You're going to do this. Like, pick one, just do it. Like, come on. And, well, now me and my sibling, I guess, both really enjoyed that, because now we play a bunch of instruments and we both love music.
Yeah.
But once I was just playing guitar, I had started piano and then I went to guitar and I was playing guitar and I kept playing guitar. I'm like, well, that's the next step, right? Is you write your own song. It was instinctual to me.
That's
it
crazy.
Wasn't like a choice. It was definitely, if there was a calling, it happened before I could remember hearing it.
That's
was
really
always
interesting.
Like, that was just the next step, because I just took the time to learn this instrument. Was I gonna stop? No.
Yeah.
Like, I had tried a bunch of other things and didn't like them. I did my one team sport, and it wasn't for me. And I think music, when I found that was my medicine, I knew that would be my life. I would be taking that medicine for the rest of my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I just love music. It's like it's in my veins.
That's extremely clear, and the world will always be grateful to you for doing it. I mean, the people that are called to do so, it's not easy. It's not. There's the fun and the joy and the thrill and the beauty of it all, but it's painful
hard work
at times.
too. Yeah, I mean, any kind of artistry is hard work.
For sure.
Yeah.
Is there anything that has kind of brought you to that conclusion in particular, or is that something that you felt always, that there's this ebb and flow of it?
I mean, balance has always been something I've tried to stay true to, and recognize within all scenarios. But I think as much as I love like music and love making music and love the idea of being a musician and all the fun and the doing and the gigging and the booking and all of it. I love all of it. But then again, I'm also someone I'm doing it all on my own.
Yeah.
I'm not signing. I'm not doing I'm not blah, blah, blah. I'm picky. I have it's in my head. I hear every noise. I need it the way that I need it. I'm that girl. And so be it. That's what that's where I'm at now is I'm that girl.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm going to just make the tunes I want because that's the good part. That's the real, that's what it's about. That's the
For
point.
sure.
So why would I cut corners and do things I don't want to do in the process?
Yeah.
It's just writing tunes.
Well, that's beautiful. Were there any new tunes coming on the way that you want to chat a little bit about?
Yeah, I do have a song coming out in May.
Cool.
Yeah, it's coming out like May 13th, I'm pretty sure. So I'll say that here and now, make it official. Hold
That's
me to
amazing.
it.
I will definitely hold you to it. I'll make a reel of
it's
this.
It's unnamed at the moment, but I would be shouting it from the rooftops if I had a name for it. But you guys are going to love this song. It's very fun. Another tune I made with Brian Lovely.
Amazing.
And so much fun on this one. A lot of cool instruments and a lot of cool noises that I enjoy.
Yeah. Well, Deej, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Where can they find you at?
You can find me on Spotify and all of that. My name is Deej. I'm the one with the shell tattoo. There's so many Deejes and DJs that come up. And I'm at Deej Goosey on Instagram.
Amazing. Well, thanks for coming over, fam.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been fun.
Absolutely. Catch her online, y'all.
Woo.
My friend, thank you so much.
The weekly way. The weekly way.
That was Deej, everybody. She is a lovely human being, and it was so kind to me to come over here and let me pick her brain a little bit about the things she's working on. Don't forget about that new song she's got coming out. I think she said this summer. So all good things on the way. But without further ado, let's hop into the dates. This is what I got on the local front every single Sunday night. March 20th, you got me at Fishbowl at the Bank starting at 7 o'clock. March 22nd, I'm sorry, my vision got a little blurry because I've been staring at the light too long. March 22nd, I'm covering for my man, Brad Martin over at Mount Lookout Tavern. I have 6 o'clock down for that. The show should start at 9 o'clock, so I'll make that adjustment, I think. March 27th, you'll find me at Fishbowl at the Banks again, 7 o'clock. The 28th, you will find me at the Tin Roof Cincy. That show starts at 10 o'clock. And then March 31st, I'm at the Little Miami Brewing Company with my homie Chandler Carter. That show starts at 6. Let's talk about the acoustic dates for the rest of the Impatient tour. The 16th, tomorrow or tonight, depending on when this gets posted. But the 16th, we're going to be in Indianapolis at the Tin Roof. I'm taking my friend Tommy Lee out with me. We're going to show you some of her new tunes we've been cooking up. And some amazing other things she's been working on. That show starts at 9 o'clock. I got to say, if there's any Tin Roof that I love with every fiber of my being, it's the Indianapolis store. Shout out to Damo, to DQ, to that entire staff. I go in there, they're repping the merch, they're smiling, they're having a good time, they're so good to us. So come out and support that squad. And then St. Patty's Day, I am going to Louisville with my man Nick Hack. That show starts at 4 o'clock now. I also need to fix that poster. Damn it, man. I'll fix the poster. But me and Nick Hack will be getting down duo style, and we'll be bumping from 4 to 7 p.m. Also, we have just added a band date in Louisville on the 9th of April. That starts at 8 o'clock. That's myself, Tommy Lee, Nick Hack, and Kevin McClellan coming back from Nashville for us. All right, let's look at the rest of the Impatient Tour. Band dates just announced, and we couldn't be happier about it. March 23rd, we're going to Buffalo, New York, playing at Mr. Good Bar with Roy G. Bibb. These are some homies of mine that, I met Rob the Radio, my man, in Hilton Head, South Carolina. We just connected about guitars and music, and we kicked it for a little bit. And then you go separate ways. I haven't seen this guy since we met, but we've kept up online. And we've talked a couple of times about putting on a show in Buffalo, so we started working out the details a little while ago, and it's here. So come see us, Matt Waters and the Recipe with Roy G. Bibb at Mr. Good Bar on March 23rd at 9 o'clock. The 24th, we're going to NYC. We're playing the Red Lion. That show starts at 7. It's our debut there, so we hope to see some friends. I believe that's in the Lower East Side, but I don't know the city that well, so we'll see. If you got friends up in NYC, let them know. If you're in NYC, if you don't come out to this, I can't forgive you forever. Enough said. Okay. And then the 25th of March, we're making our debut in Arlington, Virginia at the Renegade. That show starts at 10 o'clock. That should be bumping. Shout out to my boy Connor over at Beat Gig for doing so much of the booking help on this last tour. It's made my life so much easier. We can't wait to rock the Renegade for you, man. And then the 21st of April, we're going to be back at the Tin Roof starting at 5 in Indianapolis, Indiana. More to come, obviously. We're about to announce the Big Crash Summer Tour in promotion of our new album, and I am ecstatic about these dates starting to pile up. And pretty soon, next week, you're going to be getting a new episode of the Monday's Muse. We had this show last night with my man Damon Mitchell, and Damon was out of this world. Man, was just shredding on that guitar, got some great new tunes. And it's a celebration of the songwriters, man. Also, shout out to NXK Duo. These girls came in and blew my mind with these harmonies, these songs, the attitude. The room was just full of kindness. And then my man Eric Illian came out with some fresh stuff. I love hearing it, brother. Keep up the good work and keep grinding, everybody. It is such a pleasure to host this show. So I thought I'd reward all of us, including myself, with a special amount of good time. I'm talking about Noah Smith coming in next month. So April 11th, RSVP now with Latitudes. I swear, at some point, you're not going to be able to get a seat at this show. So make your RSVP so you know you got a table. Come have dinner. Come have a couple drinks. It starts at 7 o'clock with the Songwriters Round. I'm going to keep that on the down low. I'll tell you who's playing a couple days in advance. But for right now, you got to wait on it. But at 8:30, myself and Noah Smith are going to be going back and forth, talking about music, talking about life, all the good things. And you also get a quick interview with the man. And we started to implement an original Songwriters open mic at 10:30. Everybody gets one song. If we like it, we might give you another song, but just one song a piece. Come up with your new stuff. Even if you just got one half-baked tune, it's better to get trying it. We want to give a stage to the folks that are making their first steps into the joys of songwriting. So thanks to everyone that's been coming out. Shout out to Damon. Tune into that episode this coming week. And RSVP at Latitudes, everybody. That's it for episode 66 of The Wave. I love you. Peace.